To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. Something very critical that you don't do when you live off-grid is rely on the weatherman. Every time you think, okay, today I'm going to trust the weatherman, is the day they mess it up. I guess they mess it up all the time. I just usually don't pay attention. So today I thought I'd buy a new battery. And the reason I decided to buy a new battery is today was the first day of whatever time shift thing they do. So now it will get darker earlier at nighttime. It'll get lighter earlier in the morning. As the days get shorter, I have to rely on battery power more than solar panels. Let's just say I got to go 14 hours on batteries and 10 hours on solar or something to that effect. That's how long the panels can actually do the charge and the whole thing. Last night I made it through without having to run the generator. So I have almost enough. But then the shift in time and the days are going to continue to get shorter. I thought I was just going to get another battery. Well, when you buy a battery, they're not fully charged. They're charged just enough that they don't go bad while they sit in the store. So when you bring them home, you got to plug them in and get them charged up. Normally what I got to do is I got to hook up the generator and I got to charge it with the battery charger. I waited all week just to find a really clear sunny day, and I've been keeping an eye on the weather, and all week, including yesterday, they said it was going to be a sunny day today. So I woke up this morning, checked again, sunny day today. So we ran and got a battery. It's like a 50-mile round trip. When we got back, of course, the sun is completely blocked by the clouds, so I'm only getting about 15 amps. It probably won't get that new battery charged on top of having to do its regular duties today. So I'll have to run that darn generator anyways, even though I was trying to prevent it. Now, I do have a video where I talked about the solar panels, and I'm gonna put a link to that video at the end of this video. It should be right here at the end of the video. It'll be right here on the screen. You just click it, it'll pop up. If you'll watch that, you'll learn about how to hook up solar panels. Also, it helps out the algorithm to know that you like this video. It's been a really big help for me. The channel is doing a lot better than it was just even a few weeks ago. My views went down, but that's because it's November. But overall, the channel growth is getting better. So it's really helping. I really do appreciate everybody that's participating in that. I'm getting about 13% of the people that see that end screen actually click that end screen. So if you'll click it, watch it, you'll learn about solar panels, and it helps me out all at the same time. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit of this and that. I do that every now and then, and these videos usually do really well. You learn about how making YouTube videos. They always talk about stay to a subject, one subject per video. But every time I talk about multiple subjects, the videos do really well. So I was going to kind of just go all over the place. Talk about chickens and pigs. Recently I made a video where I talked about pigs, and then we're going to get pigs. I'm 90, well, let's call it 80% confident that we're going to get pigs this coming March, April timeframe. Even though, as well as I explained why we're getting pigs, how many people still don't understand it. So last year we raised meat birds. Cornish cross is what we got. Now what these guys are egg birds. We got Buff Orpingtons. I'm going to let them out while we're talking here. We got Buff Orpingtons, New Hampshires, not Rhode Islands, New Hampshire. They're like an off-breed of the Rhode Islands. And then we got Americanas. Americanas are going to produce colored eggs. None of the Americanas are old enough yet to produce eggs, so we got 7 chickens producing eggs right now. So like this is a Buff, that's a New Hampshire, and then all the colored ones, the silvers and the blacks, they're all Americanas. That one is a male, that's Rue. And then we got Frenchie back over here. I'm trapping them. They want me to let them out. So I'll let them out for a few minutes. Let them catch some bugs. This is Rue, that's the rooster. And so we have 14, I think. So that means we got 12 egg producers. 7 of them are currently producing eggs. As you will recall, we raised Cornish cross. We bought 50 of them. I think we lost 4. I don't remember. So we didn't have a huge loss rate. Got them through the summertime. And in the end, it cost about $400 for 120 pounds of meat. I feel like we did pretty good. We canned it all up. Got to keep them out of the trees. They get in the trees and I get all these stickies on me. So we canned it all up. Between all the sales that we find at the store and the Cornish cross, We have about 300 days worth of canned food, canned meat. The chickens were a lot of work. Would I recommend it to anybody? I would. I think it's a good practice to raise them. They're very susceptible to heat and cold. They don't walk around much. They eat a ton of food. You raise them for 8 to 12 weeks and you butcher them. It's a lot of work, but this is my job. Living here is my job. And we did save money on chicken costs. Now, when we buy a pig, the food cost is going to go down by about half. It's going to be about $200, maybe even less. And the live pig will weigh 250 pounds at 6 months old. That's when we'll butcher him. Once we get him all skinned up and harvested, that'll be about 150 pounds of meat. So we're going to get more meat. We got 120 pounds from the chickens for $400, and we're going to get 150 pounds of meat for $200. It's just a huge savings. Now, one of the things that I got a lot of comments on is I mentioned that I wasn't sure if I was going to render the fat. I've looked into it more and I feel pretty comfortable that I can do it. Since I said I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not, I got dozens of people saying, just take it to the butcher. Take the pig to the butcher, they'll do it for you. But has anybody ever went to the butcher? They get kind of costly. Part of the living off-grid is not relying on other people. And as soon as you take your pig to the butcher, you've just lost any savings that you've made raising your own pig and all the effort. I'm trying to train these chickens right here to stay in this little area. So you see this tree, I don't want them going up past this tree too much. I definitely don't want them going out in the woods. The New Hampshires, the darker color ones there, they went out in the woods and they got lost. They could hear us and they were making noise. One of them flew up high enough, they're trying to get our attention, where Carolyn saw her. So I went down in the woods and I scared them back. But they don't know how to get back. I was surprised by that. So I don't want them running around. Also, we have a lot of hawks and eagles that fly over. Now Frenchie, the white one there, he is amazing at how well he can spot a hawk or an eagle. The other day there was one just way up there at the top of those trees. I mean, just way up there. I didn't see it. And he looked up, he cocked his head up. I said, what do you see, Frenchie? And he got a little throw. And everybody ran inside. I closed the gate. Yeah, we got to be careful that they don't get separated too much so Frenchie can do his job. So I try to keep them all rounded up, and they're getting trained. They're starting to understand. Like these girls here, they know better. And as soon as I come over here, they'll go back. See how Frenchie just ran right back? They'll go back. They know they're not supposed to be over here. But they like hanging out in this taller grass stuff here. That's Roo, that's the other rooster. We're gonna keep him just so we can have a variety of DNA. We're going to try to let one of the hens get broody next spring and raise her own chickens, her own chicks. And we'll butcher those chicks. But we might also keep some because these guys will get too old and we'll have to get rid of them and replace them. But if we only have one rooster, then that one rooster will be breeding with his own daughters. So if I have two roosters, and they're both just beautiful roosters. Yep, see, there was Frenchie. He saw this bird instantly. Saw that bird. Come on, let's get inside. Yep, he went over to his girls and he started pushing them. Come on, get inside. He is so good at this. But these two, the Buff Orpingtons, don't pay attention to him too well. Everybody else does. Get in there. Get in there. And so, see, Frenchie puts him away pretty good. He wants to make sure he's the last one in. Oh, there's one. We lost one. I don't know if I'll be able to catch her. And if I open the door, they're going to want to all come out again. I got her. So I was talking to my dad the other day because he remembers my grandparents raising pigs way better than I do. I was a young kid and it was a chore to me. But Dad, on the other hand, I mean, he had to get out there and actually deal with it. And so we were talking about all the things that Grandma and Grandpa did on raising pigs and how he butchered them and everything. One of the things that struck me is how they can their food. I really show you how to do it. I don't think I could, because YouTube's going to say, well, that's illegal, you can't do that, it's unsafe, all kinds of stuff. But for example, we pressure can our pork and chicken and beef or whatever in the pressure canner at 240 degrees, an hour and 15 minutes. Well, Grandma would fry up the pork. So they'd make pork out, you know, as they're butchering, they'd grind it all up, and she'd make these little pork balls, and she'd put it in the jar, and then they'd pour the lard on top of the pork balls, put a lid on it, seal it up, and that was how they canned pork. Now, of course, botulism was a big deal back then, and that's one of the reasons why everybody switched over to pressure canning as it was. It just wasn't getting hot enough. Now, the grease, obviously, was getting hot enough, but that grease is not cooking the pork to 240 degrees for 90 minutes. The other thing you have to think about is our immune systems nowadays are much weaker than my grandparents and their parents. When they were canning food like that, you know, they'd eat salmonella for breakfast, go to work and feel fine. But if you get a little bit of salmonella at Taco Bell now, you're out for a month, could die, and you may end up suing Taco Bell. And that's also the other thing that concerns me about people who says, oh, it's so dangerous to can food. Yeah, it used to be dangerous, but now they got safety valves on the canners, they don't blow up. They've got all these instructions on how to properly can your food. If you will you click on that video? I'd really appreciate it. You'll learn about solar panels, helps me out, tells the algorithm you like this video. So I hope I can inspire you to think through your dream. Thanks for watching.